Let's see. I'll give you a heads up soon as we start here. And we're live.
What's up, guys? Thank you for joining us today. Welcome to the second ever Rush Conference or CFFC 129 press conference, whichever you prefer. I know which one I prefer. I'm your host, Dylan Rush. Today, we're joined by 5 fighters on the CFFC 129 card, which is set to take place this Friday, February 9th at 2300 Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, live on UFC Fight Pass. First fighter I'd like to introduce is one half of CFFC 129's main event. She enters the bout with a perfect 5-0 record and will be looking to make a statement in her second fight under the CFFC banner. The Archangel, Fatima Kline. Welcome, Fatima. In the co-main event, we have an exciting matchup between current CFFC middleweight champion Kyle Daukaus and oncoming title challenger Sean Fallon. Daukaus has amassed a 13-4 professional record with 1 no contest and will be looking to defend his middleweight throne against a game opponent in Sean Fallon, who enters the bout riding a 4-fight win streak. Welcome, Kyle. Sean will be joining us later on. We are also joined today by the 2 combatants that will make up CFFC 129's featured prelim, 25-year-old Manny Morales and 29-year-old Lindsey Jones. Both men have found success early on in their mixed martial arts careers, with Morales entering the bout at 3-1 professionally and Jones at 5-2. Should be a very fun fight. Welcome, Manny and Lindsey. In addition to these 5 mixed martial artists, we are joined by the man who put these fights together, longtime CFFC matchmaker Arias Garcia. Thank you for joining us today, man. Sorry I didn't find a better photo of you for the poster. That's on me. I will be wearing my host hat tonight, or a Raiders beanie, but I'm also a journalist at heart, so I'm going to ask you guys some questions too to start it out. So I'll start with the Archangel Fatima Kline. Fatima, this is your second fight under the CFFC banner, but it's also your second main event as well. What can you tell me about your treatment within the promotion thus far? And do you feel like these main event spots are helping to prepare you for the next level, whether that be UFC or elsewhere?
Oh yeah, absolutely. As soon as I signed with CFFC, they were able to give me a an opponent matchup right away, regardless of even it became a title fight right away. And so I was super glad that not only did they find me fights and they found me. I mean, now this is my second one with them within a couple months of being signed, but now I'm fighting for a second title. So they've been great to me, and I'm really excited to be able to put on a show for them this Friday night.
Awesome. Awesome. We'll jump to Kyle Daukaus in the co-main event, the champion. Kyle, you enter this fight with a wealth of fighting experience across various promotions, including both the UFC and CFFC. And you've seen a lot in this sport. You've accomplished a lot, but you've never been matched up with Sean Connor Fallon. What do you know about your opponent, Sean Fallon, and what makes this a favorable stylistic matchup for yourself?
Yeah, I didn't really know much about him. Really, for a guy that's 17-8, he's not like really on a ton of radars. So I'm excited to get in there and get to work and test myself against a good opponent.
Awesome, awesome. We'll jump over to Sean. Sean, you aren't here yet, so we'll jump straight to the featured prelim with Manny Morales. Manny, last night I had the pleasure of Pat Dan is here. Manny, last night I had the pleasure of sitting down with your teammate, UFC middleweight Andre Petrosky, who had said a lot of great things about you. What can you tell me about the bond you and your teammates have formed at Web MMA and Fitness and Marquez MMA? And do you feel like you have been pushed to your limits day in and day out in preparation for this upcoming bout with Lindsey Jones? Oh, you got to unmute. You got to unmute.
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I feel like this is more of a family, man. I've been growing up with these guys, some of the best guys around, Sean Brady, Jeremiah Wells, Pat Sabatini, all these guys. So this isn't like we're not a fucking big team or anything like that, like a ATT, but we started from nothing and we're gonna keep climbing.
Hell yeah, man. We'll jump over to your opponent, Lindsey Jones. Lindsey, simply put, you are a man that finishes fights. In your amateur days, it was all finishes. Now in your professional career, it's been more of the same, all finishes. Do you pride yourself on being a violent fighter or even a fan favorite, putting on exciting shows for the fans in attendance and the viewers around the world? I think you got to unmute too. You're still muted. Wait, let me see. 1 second. Let's see. Oh, wait, you're unmuted now. But we can't hear you. Let me jump over to Arias real quick, and then we'll get right back to you, all right? So we'll jump over to the matchmaker, Arias Garcia Jr.
Phone disconnected.
I got a generic question for you. I'll let the better journalists ask you the more hard-hitting questions. But for those that may be unfamiliar with CFFC, or those or people out there that are simply looking to learn more about these fights, what can fans expect to see this Friday night when they tune into CFFC 129?
I mean, I think when they tune in to CFFC 29, you're just going to see the top regional talent in the world, and you're going to see the best production in the world. We recently did CFFC Muay Thai, which was an amazing production. And when you come to Cage Fury, you're going to see the best talent. You're going to see the best talent locally. You're going to see the best talent regionally. Kyle's from this area. Manny's from this area. Fatima is like up in North Jersey. So like, again, you're going to see regional talent locally, but you're going to see the best in the world. And people that are coming from Brazil, like Fatima's Kline, people that are coming from across the country, like Kyle's opponents. So you're going to see really good MMA locally, regionally, and some of the next best talent that hopefully we'll see one day in the UFC.
Awesome, man. You guys have been doing a lot of great things over there, Cage Fury. It's been great to see. Let's see, Lindsey, did you get it sorted out? Are you here with us, Lindsey?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Sorry about the technical difficulties right there.
I can repeat my question real quick. Basically, you are a finisher. You have finished all your fights amateur. You finished all your fights pro. You're a very violent fighter. Do you pride yourself on that? Do you like being a fan favorite and putting on these exciting shows for the fans in attendance and viewers from around the world?
Yeah, I try to, man. I'm a live by the sword, die by the sword type of fighter. Bring it every fight, and man, whatever happens, happens.
Oh yeah, it's a good mentality. We'll kick it over to our journalist. I'm all out of questions. We'll introduce real quick Jake Nowicker. Jake, the man who put this thing together, thank you for letting me host. I appreciate it. Patrick McCory, all the way from England, I believe, or no, you're in Germany now, right? So it's I don't know what time it is there. It looks pretty dark. Zach Kaufman, 4 ounces to freedom, the man that knows more about CFFC than anybody here, even Arias probably. Pat Dana out there in New Jersey. Who else we got? Anik, I think you're in New Jersey as well. So thank you guys all for joining. I'm going to pass over to Jake Nowicker. Your mic is hot, Jake.
I'm honored to be confused with John Morgan, but Kyle, the Dark Knight, we will start with you, my friend. Not that you're looking past Sean here at all when I ask this question. That's not what I'm saying, but a big storyline, a big thing people wonder about you is when are you getting back to the UFC, right? With a win here, is this finally the fight that gets you back there?
I mean, hopefully that would be the ideal situation, just based off of UFC coming over to Atlantic City soon. So, I mean, and plus I'm kind of on a roll right now. I got a 2-fight win streak going on, so that's a plus as well. I win on Friday, and that's 3. And hopefully I get that call up afterwards. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to, my main focus is Friday night and getting past Sean, and I can't really look anywhere else.
So, but internally, though, the goal is, beat Sean in maybe dominant fashion and then get that call for UFC Atlantic City on March 30th?
Yeah, that would be ideal.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And then, are you surprised at all you haven't got this call? Because I remember sitting watching your first Cage Fury fight back with Arias and being like, win here, that's a wrap. He's back. And here we are 3 fights later. No call yet. What's going on with that?
No, I know it takes time. It takes a lot of time with these guys with making sure that they make the right business decisions. I kind of messed up when I fought for them before, so they're probably just giving me some more time to make sure I can, keep my feet under me and just keep winning again. I'm undefeated regionally, so it's kind of has some kind of say. But everything goes well. Ideally, after this fight, we're back there.
And then last one for you, Kyle. Who's going to be in the corner? You got Chris Daukaus coming?
Yeah, I got Chris. I got my coach Will, and I got my buddy Jim, who's always in the corner as well.
Awesome. Thank you, man. Now let's throw it to the main event, Fatima Kline. Fatima, very similar question to you. I mean, one of the hottest prospects on the regional scene, very close with Aaron Blanchfield. You have great connects. The UFC is already talking about you. So with a win here, without looking past your opponent, UFC AC March 30th, that interests you?
Oh, absolutely. I'd love to fight close to home again. I mean, I'm so grateful I'm able to even fight in Philly right now. The first time I'm really able to have all of my family there. And yeah, to have my debut pretty close to home and to be alongside my teammate Aaron Blanchfield, that would definitely be a unbelievable debut. So, but we'll see what happens.
100%. And then your opponent couldn't be here tonight, but what are your thoughts on her? So have you seen any tape?
Yeah. I watched a lot of her tape. I feel like I've fought better people before. I feel like, I've been in this spot a couple months ago, main event, title on the line. I'm back here at home and I feel really comfortable. My camp has gone the best that it possibly could. And yeah, I'm able to really test myself against her, show off some things that maybe I haven't shown off before. And yeah, keep this win streak going and keep moving forward.
Awesome. And then Lindsey, over to you, just because I got a chance to talk to Manny before the fight. Haven't talked to you yet. I asked Manny his thoughts on you, so now I'm going to ask you. What are your thoughts on Manny? What have you seen?
He's a tough fighter, good grappler, and seems to have a lot of experience, even though he hasn't had any finishes yet. He's gone the distance each time, and I do believe that is very valuable for a fighter, having that experience and having that cage time. So,
And then last one for me, Arias, just talking about Manny and Lindsey. Where does this fight stand in terms of welterweight title contention? I know Alonzo Turner is supposedly up next, so where do these two guys, where does the winner of this one go?
Yeah, so we have a really good problem at 170 with a lot of talent there. I think the winner of this obviously is in the mix. Manny is one of few with us, and Lindsey comes from a very reputable camp, reputable management team. So yeah, if he wins, we'll definitely be in a talk. He could possibly be in the talks for 170. But again, we have a lot of. I know Manny. I seen an interview. It might have been with you, Jake. That he's interested in people that fought in the last event at 170. I know he's got to get through Lindsey first, but it's a good problem to have. But yeah, the winner of this fight is definitely going to be up there regarding contenders of the title.
All right. Thank you, Jake. We couldn't get Tyler Little out of his mom's basement for this one, but we did get the CFFC Encyclopedia, Zach Kaufman. Zach, your mic is hot. How you doing, man?
Doing good, thank you. So I'm going to start off with Fatima Kline. We talked a few months ago. We kind of predicted everything besides the opponent change. We said you were going to go in, get a dominant win, be on the radar yet again, have a former CFFC champion put the belt on you. We all did it. What are we predicting this time for this fight?
I'm expecting a good fight. I'm definitely expecting another finish. I expect to make another statement. And yeah, I'm expecting really high expectations for myself, and I plan on being double champion for sure.
Awesome, best of skill in that one. I'm gonna go to Arias. So we have two Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu specialists in the main event. When are we going to see the Garcia challenge come back?
I don't know, Zach. I'm getting old. I'm 45 now, but I told Aljamain that once he won the title, he could challenge me, but he hasn't challenged me yet. But whenever someone worthy challenges me, I'm always up for it. Just gotta, get my doctor to clear it.
Awesome. And my next question is for Sean, so I'll wait till he comes back.
Okay. We'll pass it over to Anik. Anik, how you doing, man?
What's up, everyone? First time CFFC. I'm grateful to be here. I'm going to start off with Kyle. Kyle, I know you love Philly sports. It's been a tough run for the Eagles, unfortunately. I want to know, what does a training session look like after an Eagles loss?
It depends on what day it is. I would say if it's sparring, then we're beating the shit out of each other. But every other day, it's kind of the same. If it's during the week, then MMA class is just that much harder. But you live with a little frustration.
Understood. I'm gonna move over to Fatima. You're undefeated in your pro MMA career. In grappling, however, you've lost to the Ultimate Fighter season 30 winner Juliana Miller. If you win Friday, is that a fight you'd like to run back in the cage one day, perhaps in Atlantic City?
Honestly, no. I mean, I do feel like even though I've lost that match, I think we both know that I won. If you watch that fight, I was on her back and mounted the whole time. She waited for overtime in order to beat me. So if you're gonna wait till overtime to beat me, I think that shows enough of how an MMA fight would go. If an MMA fight went nearly as close as that, it would have been over in 30 seconds. So definitely not. But hey, listen, I'm willing to fight whoever, whenever, wherever.
Fair enough. Appreciate that. Arias. Now, one of the biggest news is coming out is Renato Moicano is going to be on the commentary for this event. I want to know, did you speak to him about dialogue and like how many times he can say MF on the mic?
No, so the luxury about being on Fight Pass, he can say whatever he wants. So I think Morgan and Fred, Cambry, our production, they're gonna have fun. But nah, he's gonna have open reign to talk however he wants and whatever he wants to talk about. So I'm pretty sure we'll get some good clips of that.
I'm looking forward to it. And last question from me, Manny, your good friend Randy Brown won by vicious knockout last weekend in the UFC. If you get a win on Friday, what's a celebration gonna look like with the Rude Boy?
Yeah, man, he looked awesome, but there's no celebrations, brother. We're not where we want to be yet. Um, and Coach John's turns, we ain't shit yet, so we just got to keep moving.
Appreciate the honesty. Best of luck, everyone.
All right, I'll pass it over to Patrick Dana. Patrick, your mic is hot.
Hi, everyone. My first question is for Fatima. So you're talked about as one of the best prospects currently outside of the UFC, with many people believing that you'd be top 15 or better if you were in the promotion right now. Do you feed off such like high expectations, and is there pressure that comes with those expectations?
Definitely, I definitely feel a lot of pressure. I know a lot of people are talking about UFC and what's next. I'm fully focused on Friday, but I know where my dream is, and I know where I belong. And listen, I'm ready. I think I am top 15, top 5. I think I'm world class as far as skill wise. I just need the opportunity to prove that. And yeah, I feel like I really do complete, better under pressure. The pressure doesn't bother me at all. I feel like I definitely rise to the occasion every time. And yeah, I'm super excited to see where my future is.
Thank you. So my next one is for Arias. Arias, last year you guys had 4 cards that featured multiple title fights, and you're opening up this year with another one right off the bat. I know sometimes it's out of your hands, but how many multiple title fight cards should we expect to see this year? More or about the same as last year?
Probably more. We're trying to make sure we have. I think one of the things that Rob and I discuss is just having more active champions. I can tell you this right now, for April 12th in Atlantic City, we're looking at 4 title fights. And we're working on that. So I think you're going to see more, just because we want to keep our fighters active. We want to keep our champions active. And I think, fighters that know that they're on the cusp of the UFC or on the contenders, and Kyle can probably tell you this, they want you to stay busy no matter what. So it might be detrimental to your career if you sit there and just wait around for a call, for a last minute UFC call. So with that in mind, we want to keep our champions busy and make sure that they're fighting as often as they can, just to give Sean Shelby, Mick Maynard another look, and for another opportunity to make it to the UFC. So more title fights are expected throughout the year.
Awesome to hear. So my next one's for Lindsey. So this will be your first fight in CFFC against a guy who will be fighting close to his hometown and have a lot of fans there to support. Are you expecting to be in like very hostile environments, or is that something you're looking to kind of like counter and just pull off like, the crowd upset?
I definitely expect it to be a hostile environment, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. There's only 2 of us in there fighting, and the rest of it is it's irrelevant.
So my next one is for Kyle. First off, I actually want to follow up on something Anik said before. So I asked your brother when I interviewed him a couple months ago if you'd rather have $100,000 or a win for the Eagles in the Super Bowl. But if you take the 100K, the Eagles will lose the Super Bowl. I want to ask what your answer was, because your brother took the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I would take the Super Bowl, I guess, for right now, for the time being. But yeah.
Okay, my actual question. So this will be your first defense of your title, but also your first fight as a father. I wanted to ask if being a father has changed your perspective on fighting or life at all.
As far as like perspective and stuff, I mean, I have to provide more for my son and for my family. So, being, a dad, it's a little bit more motivating, I guess. But if you do need more motivation in this sport, it's not something that you should be looking for. You just got to be more disciplined and everything. He's really brought like a disciplined side of me, like a more disciplined side of me than usual, and it's exciting. I mean, I think about him every single time I train, so it's a little bit different. It does hit home a little bit different.
All right, thank you guys. That's it for me.
Thank you, Pat. What's great questions. We're gonna pass over to another Pat, Mason Chase on Patrick McCory. Pat, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Let's kick it off with Kyle Daukaus, man. I don't know how much of your camp is rooted in film, but if you have been watching some film, what are some things that have popped up to you that you have to look out for Sean Fallon?
It's kind of hard to find like the a lot of fights on a lot of footage on him. But I can find fights on like his last two. He fought for Bellator and then he fought for LFA. So I'm familiar with Huck Body. I know who he is. I know he's a talented kid, and I know he kind of ran through him pretty easily. But yeah, I mean, being on like fighting him, I have to watch out for his jiu-jitsu. He's very comfortable on the bottom. He's not really too crazy as far as getting up, but and his striking is decent. But I think my striking is a lot better.
And how great has it been to be back, let's say, like home, right? Back home at CFFC and win the middleweight title after a tough end to your UFC career?
Yeah, I mean it's a little comfortable. It's comfortable being home, I guess I could say. It's not really the ideal place I want to end up as far as like my career path and stuff like that. But being back here with CFFC and the way they treat me, everything's perfect, and I'm very thankful that they actually gave me the opportunity to fight for the belt in September, and I'm excited that I won it, and just thankful to be back where I am.
Love it, man. Kicking out to Lindsey, 100% finish rate in your 5 professional wins. Do you put pressure on yourself to maintain that, or is the finish just something that comes with your exciting style?
It just happens to be a byproduct of it. I don't really, I don't try to get the finish per se, but it just happens by the way I fight.
Love it, man. And last couple of questions here for Arias. You had a Muay Thai event in January, but it's the first MMA event of the year for CFFC. How important is this card in terms of setting the tone for 2024 for CFFC?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm putting a lot of pressure on the fighters, but obviously we won a good night. It will hopefully set the tone for the year. But it's hard. We have a lot of evenly matched fights. So sometimes when a fight goes to a decision, it's not because they're just too evenly matched. But yeah, it's very important for the first card of the year. MMA wise, like you said, Muay Thai was absolutely phenomenal. So we got a lot of pressure to follow that. But they're all professionals, and I think no matter how the card winds up, it'll be good and to set the tone for the year.
I love it, man.
Pat, are you done? All right, we're gonna pass it over to Jake Noaker. Jake wasn't satisfied. He got some more questions asked. Jake, how you doing?
I mean, we got some time to fill. May as well get everyone's mouths moving. So, Manny, I asked you this in our interview, but my dumbass didn't post it correctly to Instagram, and just in case people didn't see it there, you got to tell everyone in here and everyone watching about Coach Webb, because I mean, I'll let you tell it, but he's cornering you and he's cornering Piper. So how's that going down?
Yeah, man. So he's actually there right now. He's in Vegas right now. He's gonna take a flight back. Friday morning he'll be here, and then he's gonna fly back for Joe the next night.
So yeah, that man's flying across the country like 3 or 4 different times for the two of you. That's awesome dedication right there. And I guess just like, I don't know, speak about Webb, speak about your gym community there at Marquez too, because you're in the footsteps of so many great fighters in the UFC. You're right on the cusp. So like, what does that do for your motivation each and every fight?
It's awesome, man. They led the way. Jonathan Webb had the belt. Jeremiah Wells had the belt. Sean Brady had the belt. So I'm just trying to follow those footsteps.
And then now I promise, last one for me. We're going to go back to Fatima. Fatima, Cage Fury MMA. We've seen you Fury grappling. Can we see you back there? Any interest in Muay Thai? Just wondering about 2024 goals outside of MMA necessarily.
Yeah, I always said that I wanted to do one Muay Thai fight. We'll see how that goes though. I'm definitely more interested on getting to the UFC afterwards, but if I have some time to spare, me, I love competing. I love doing different things. I love learning. So yeah, you might definitely be able to see me in Cage Fury Muay Thai ring.
You're getting me excited. That's it, Rush. You can take it away.
We're going to kick it over to the journalist that taught Ariel Helwani everything he knows, Arias Garcia Jr. Arias, you raise your hand. You have some questions?
Nah, well, yeah. Am I the only one that's nervous by Lindsey driving? You're making me nervous, Lindsey. Please, park the car or something.
Every fighter does that. So typical.
Yeah, bro. I'm driving with my knee, so that makes it any better.
We're gonna last Rush conference we had Robert Wustig driving with dogs in the car, right? Someone had dogs in the car. We'll pass over to 4 Ounces to Freedom podcast. How you doing, 4 Ounce?
Arias just doesn't want to have to match make another fight this week after the one disaster this past week already. So my question will be over for Sweet Take, Lindsey Jones. I don't know if many people know this. Like, you debuted against David Cash. Those who don't know David Cash, he was Kid Cash in ECW. You're coming to the ECW arena. Does that stand out to you at all? Like, does that matter? Like, I know this is a short notice fight. You're fighting, the Philly Kid as well. Does that add anything? Is that like a full circle? Anything to you?
Nah, man, it doesn't. I don't even watch pro wrestling, and I know nothing about it. And man, it's just another fight, bro. There's nothing too complicated about it, and there's no memories of Kid Cash or anything like that. This is a completely different time, completely different fighter, and like I said, it's just another fight.
Nice. Yeah, you took away his MMA career already. Wasn't sure if you were trying to take away his home arena now too. We'll go over to Arias for the next one. I kind of hinted you had a bit of a disaster this past week. We lost one of the Philly fighters on the card, one of Manny's teammates. Many of us don't really see what makes your hairstyle the way it is. Can you touch on like what makes the hard part of being a matchmaker?
Yeah, so there's so much behind the scenes stuff that you guys don't get to see. It's just stressful. And listen, I can't add enough to like what like stuff like Lindsey goes through, what stuff like Manny goes through of, this is their livelihood when guys pull out. And I'll tell you a not so funny story, but like when Fatima first came to us, her opponent, I think the Wednesday or Tuesday of the fight got stopped at the airport. And they wouldn't let her pass the border. So, I'm sitting here freaking out about, Fatima is this really hot prospect, everyone, every regional promotion's after her because, they see the upside of her going to the UFC. So we had to get another opponent from Mexico to fly in like on 24 hours notice. And that's why Fatima is the 125 champ, because she graciously said that she'd fight up a weight class to take the 125 belt. But yeah, there's just so much, a lot that goes on with these. It's getting medicals, it's getting your licensing done. Some of these fighters like Kyle, you're raising a baby, you have family obligations, so it's just a lot of stress on everybody. And when someone pulls out so close to a fight, you just want to make sure that their training, that their hard work didn't go for nothing. So that's why the pressure is usually on us and my other partners to like really find someone. I was happy we were able to get Reese Watkins a fight. I heard great things about him. Unfortunately, fighters pull out, it happens, and I try my best to replace them, but sometimes it just doesn't happen, and it really it hurts a little bit inside. It makes your heart drop when you see someone call you so close to fight week or so close to weigh-ins, because usually if they're calling you, it's not good. It's either they're missing weight or something bad's happened. But again, I'm not these guys have all the stress. These guys are fighting someone, changing opponents, so my stress is not comparable to theirs. But no, it is a real stressful time and job. It's not as easy as Jake Noker makes it be that he thinks it is.
I'm gonna stay with you for one more question. Brush kind of hinted that you taught Ariel everything he knows how to do. I don't know if anyone on this call knows you used to write for Sherdog, so you do have some actual journalism behind you as well. Most recently, I think in the last press rush conference was like one of the first times like CFFC was more open for media besides in the past. Can we see more of that for media, be it the ones on this call out as well as outside media as well?
Yeah, so last time Jake Ninja surprised me with some questions, but and as you guys know this, there's MMA media, and then there's MMA fanboys that are just attending events just to say they attended events. We've had plenty of events back in the past where we had front row filled. I didn't see 90-70% of those people not take notes, nothing being posted on their website. So it wasn't just we were just these guys would just get an email from the commission and just post the results afterwards. So what we tried to do, we were very, very selective, and unfortunately when COVID hit, that kind of like put the end on like a lot of media coming to our show just because we wanted to control it for health wise, for the commission wise. But yeah, we're getting into more of that. But we just want to make sure people are doing the groundwork. I apologize for people like the two Patricks and Dylan. I don't know them very well, but I know Jake. You support the regional MMA scene a lot. Zach, you do as too. So it's not like we don't appreciate the support. It's just we have to weather through like some of the people that aren't family. And there's other websites out there that I can't say this number, complete and utter shit. And that will only cover some events because they do not get along with personnel at CFFC. They claim they're the top whatever, and they're shit. They're I can't say nothing about, they're just shit. So yeah, I get where you're coming from. It's nothing out of no hard feelings of anybody, but just we're trying to just control who is doing it, and we just want to make sure that whoever covers us is putting out a quality product because it's a reflection of us.
Awesome, appreciate it. I bought a notebook just because you said no one in the front row had notebooks. So.
I better see you taking notes.
I'll have it on Friday.
All right. On Arias, we know as well as anybody how shitty media can be. This isn't a question. I just want to say that we young guns out here, we're trying to buck that trend and help change that narrative. So Anik, you got some questions again, man? How you doing?
I'm good, brother. I came up with more. So Arias, I'm gonna ask you one more. Being from the East Coast, I love these Philly shows. They're nearby. I haven't been able to attend one yet, but when I do, I know they're close by. But are there any new locations that CFFC is looking into? And if so, like what are they?
Great question, Anik. Nice to meet you. So we're going to expand so much. Rob Haydek, the president CEO of Cage Fury, he's just a genius when it comes to marketing and exploring other territories. We went to, I believe it was South Dakota last year. We're going to be back there. I'm pretty sure we're going to be doing Vegas. I'm not sure what type of show we're doing in Vegas. It might be MMA, might be Muay Thai, might be grappling, but we're going to kind of stomp our feet in the different territories throughout the year. And I can't give too much of it, Anik. It's a great question, but there's two goals of Cage Fury from my end. Is number one, it's always been number one, is just give a platform to fighters to showcase, make some money, and get them to the next level. And two is just expand our brand to more territories and become just synonymous with all combat sports.
Well, nice to meet you too. I appreciate the answer. I got two more if everyone's got time. Kyle, building off of Pat's question, congrats on being a dad. Now I'm wondering, like, how do you and your wife balance the responsibilities in fight camp? Like, who does what? Because I think for people, they want to know like how fighters balance literally being a parent as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's always got to be 50-50, I think. She recently just went back to work this week, so starting Monday, she's a school teacher. So starting this week, she's back to work. So I've been watching him all day that she's been working. It's been good. I thought I was going to really be in a panic when it happened, but he was cool. Everything's good. As far as when she was off, when she was on maternity leave, she would be home 90% of the time. So I would just roll out and then come home and take care of him. She's also nursing too, so it kind of helps out as well. But yeah, it's 50-50. Everything's good. She understands that I'm trying to make his life better and our lives better. So she understands the sacrifices I have to make as well.
Love that. And one last one for me. Lindsey, you train with a bunch of killers at American Top Team. Which training partner has the closest style compared to your opponent, Manny Morales?
Tough question, man. There's a lot of good guys down there, man. I'd say Grant Dawson probably. Two guys are heavy in grappling.
Love it. Thank you, man.
Patrick Dana, hello.
Hello. I wanted to throw one to Manny real quick. So Manny, Lindsey Jones has about as much experience as your last three opponents did combined. Does fighting someone that has more experience in MMA kind of make you more like excited and kind of like a bigger step up in competition almost?
I don't know. I just feel like it's just fight by fight. I don't really look towards that. I feel like I've had some tough opponents on under the bright lights, so I've had a lot of experience with a top promotion like Cage Fury, and that's just something I really don't look at.
And Fatima. So you have a win over Natasha Kuzutina, who recently won the LFA Interim Strawweight Championship. I wanted to ask if that matters to you at all, that your past opponents are looking good after you fight them, or is it just something you kind of just brush off, kind of?
Yeah, it's definitely something I brush off. I'm glad she's able to do well with herself and win a title, but man, there's nothing like two titles with CFFC. So I'm glad to that she's doing well, and I'm glad that I'm doing well. And yeah, I definitely wish her the best of luck in the future.
Does that double champ status mean a lot to you? I know there's not really many regional champions that have two belts in two different weight classes.
Yeah, absolutely. I was so excited, especially, even though things didn't go exactly the way they planned. I'm glad CFFC was able to find me a fight, and so last minute, my opponent accepted it on Tuesday, and honestly, that was all in God's plan because I took the 125-pound title, and now here I am able to go for the 115-pound title in my own weight class. So hey, everything works out for the good. So yeah, being double champ makes me undeniable. I think I feel like it really puts a stamp on me and who I am and my record, and yeah, it makes me definitely a prospect and one of the best prospects in the world.
Thank you. I agree.
Zach, who was the last double champ in CFFC?
Miranda Maverick. No. Caitlin Chicane.
Very good. Miranda Mavericks never fall for us.
Miranda's going to kill me for that one. Sorry, Granger.
All right,
I just want to point out one more thing. Manny Morales looks like he's in the middle of his cut. You're looking good, Manny.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Getting there.
All right, guys. I think that's all the questions we have for you guys. We journalists are going to stay on for Sean when he joins. You guys are free to go. But real quick, I just want to say thank you guys for taking the time. This was a real last minute thing that Jake Noacker put together for us. He would graciously allowed me to host, allowed me to name it after myself. Great questions from the journalists, great answers from the fighters. I can't believe Lindsey still safe driving. He didn't crash the car yet. I can't believe Kid Cash caught a stray on this Rush conference that wasn't on the Rush conference bingo card. Thank you guys for real. Good luck this Friday night. CFFC 129, Friday, February 9th, 2300 Arena, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, live on UFC Fight Pass. Tune in, guys. Thank you guys for joining.
Yeah, thank you all for real.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Kyle, you don't want to stay and face off with your opponent, dude?
Thank you.
Nah, I'll worry about him on Friday night when I see him.
Fair enough. I'll see you guys on Thursday.
See you guys.
So I'll tell you guys an interesting tidbit about Sean.
Well, hold on, because we might still be live. So before you say that, just
this can go.
Just making sure. Making sure.
No, this is no holds barred, baby.
Just making sure.
So, and I'm going to give him shit for this when he comes on, but it took like an additional week for the Sean Fallon fight poster to come out because I asked Sean every day, Sean, I need a pick for the poster. I need a pick for the poster. Every day it was like, bro, I can't. I need to get a haircut. And then every day it was like, bro, my barber couldn't do it today. I'm like, bro, I'm seriously about to pull the fucking fight. Please just give me a fucking picture. So I'm a busting chops, but that's just the little stuff that guys we go through, just and then I get hit up from Kyle like, hey, I saw all the other fights being posted. What's up with my fight? I'm like, I didn't get to pick yet. And fighters are smart; they get nervous about things. But Sean's a great guy. Been talking to him a lot, so I'm looking forward to the fight Friday night.
Well, Arias, there's no fighters here. What's your fight of the night? No one can judge you.
Oh man, fight of the night. Oh, you know what I'm thinking, and I really have high hopes for this kid, and write this name down because I think he's going to be something special. And I heard his plans of possibly calling somebody out, but Bilal Hassan. And that's no disrespect to Jacob Romano. I just never seen Jacob fight, and I hear a lot of good things about Jacob. But I hear a lot. I mean, I've seen Bilal fight for me a couple times, and I really think he's special, and that's going to be my fight. I think Jacob's a great test for him. So I think that could be the fight because I love Bilal. Bilal goes for it every time, but I'm gonna pick Hassan versus Romano for the fight of the night.
Real quick, guys, if I could jump in, we're going to close it out on YouTube. All the people watching on YouTube, thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to have questions for Sean. Anybody that's here viewing on YouTube for these questions to Sean, they're going to be on all our socials this week. Pat Dana, Jake Noaker, Patrick McCory, Anik, and of course, 4 Ounces to Freedom podcast. So you guys can check those out there. But thank you guys for joining us tonight. It was a great time. We really appreciate it.
See you Friday. Woo!
And I heard that there was another press conference yesterday